Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second edition of the Bill Crane Report. Joined tonight by Dwayne Weiss, and as you can see, we're minus one member tonight. Our friend Jeff is on the sick list, so Dwayne and I will have to work a little harder tonight, but we're both up to it, right, Dwayne?
I certainly hope so.
Sure. Well, let me just kind of go over again a little explanation of what the show is all about. And this show is aimed at you, the viewers, who appreciate the finer things in life. Yes, it will be sophisticated, sparkling, witty, and yet powerful and direct. After a couple of shows, you'll be riveted to your TV when we're on. You will eagerly await our next show. This show will be an ideal show for the youth of America, what with the train wreck that is now the state of our educational system. It will be invaluable for you little tykes to cling to and to learn from. So with this in mind, let the learning begin. And let's learn by talking a little bit about how to use the show. I'm sure you're all aware of the scared straight experience. Well, our show will be a little along those lines. All of you who are confused and messed up, pay special attention to the show. Absorb the analysis, contemplate the clear opinions, and grow from the powerful input of our show. You'll have an awakening, an epiphany, if you will, and you will not want to return to those scary, confused days. No, you'll discard all that and move ahead armed and buttressed by the injection of clear logic dispensed here on the show. So, with that in mind, let me get my score sheet here, and we'll begin with a little question and answer time with Dwayne.
Okay. I don't know if I can follow that introduction, though.
Well, big words to live up to, but you're a big boy.
Unfortunately.
Should military service be a prerequisite for running for the office of President, Vice President, and for serving as Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense?
Yes. Quite frankly, because, well, I'm a veteran. I'm a military person. And there's a certain experience that comes with it that if you don't have it, you just cannot understand what's going on totally. If you have a commander-in-chief that's never been in the military, even the basic military, I don't think that he has to be a career person, just some exposure to the military. I think that we should actually look at compulsory military service or some type of government service for everybody.
Oh, absolutely, and that's another topic we'll deal with on another day, but I agree with you totally. Yeah, it seems to me that the 2 years that I served in the Army, I learned more in those 2 years than the previous 20. It's a great growing experience.
Plus, you know what the military is and what it isn't.
Exactly.
There's a lot of misconceptions of what the military is and is not, what it can and can't do.
Do you know that in my life, I have seen 2 organizations that I would say are darn close to being perfect. One, believe it or not, is Disney World. Mm-hmm. They have got everything thought out down there, and the other is the military, the U.S. Army. They got an answer for everything that comes up.
Right way, wrong way, and the Army's way.
Well, but it works.
It works. Sometimes it's phenomenal. It does work, but it does.
It is. Well, okay. How about the New York Post headline of August the 12th? Obama golfs while the world burns. You had a comment on that?
Yes, it disturbs me that he's not doing what he should be doing while he's on vacation, because I know in the private sector, if there's a crisis in the company or something's going on, you got vacation scheduled with, too bad. You're not going.
Exactly. and you know, I've had bosses in the past that have said to me, you know, you're going to have to handle this on your own, Bill, because I'm taking a long weekend playing golf down in the Carolinas, and I won't be back till Monday night. So you got it, buddy. Well, that doesn't really make me feel really comfy, because he's the kind of guy that would come back and second guess you, you know? And it's the same kind of thing. It seems to me that when we have the crises that we have, he should be right there with the steering wheel in his hand.
Yeah, I don't say they shouldn't take time off or
You're right.
vacation, but not right now.
That's
this
exact- yeah.
This is too critical of a time.
I
I talked to somebody a couple weeks ago, and he was obviously a very pro-Obama. We discussed this, and he said, "Well, it doesn't make any difference." He said, "With the communications that are today, he's always in contact." Well, yes, he is in contact, but he's not surrounded by the people that he should be surrounded by either when he's on the golf course.
Yep, that's exactly right. His National Security Council.
Yep, they're not there.
You know, that's right. And who knows where they are?
Yep.
Well, okay, here's a little one. This is a little further off the wall. Judge Judy TV show
Oh, boy.
is on Channel 4 from 4 to 5
Oh, yeah.
every night of the week. And I would suggest to you folks at home that you watch it 2 or 3 times between the next show of ours, which will be in a fortnight or so. And please pay attention to what is going on there, because it seems to me that we are watching the breakdown and destruction of civilization as we know it. When you look at some of the people that are paraded before Judge Judy, it's incredible. But more on that after they've done their homework.
Okay.
We'll talk about that again. Tony Gwynn, one of baseball's greatest hitters, passed away recently of cancer of the mouth and salivary glands, a disease he attributed to chewing tobacco. Baseball tried to ban it, but the union objected. Curt Schilling, Red Sox pitcher, has recently revealed, as recently as a couple of days ago,
I think it was yesterday.
that his cancer is mouth cancer, and he attributes it to 30 years of chewing tobacco. When is baseball going to actually take charge of this situation and ban tobacco? The NFL doesn't allow tobacco.
No, they don't.
The Celtics don't chew tobacco. The Bruins don't. These leagues ban behavior that's dangerous. And certainly, tobacco chewing is dangerous.
Yeah. Not only that, there's an image problem.
Really, for the kids.
For the kids, absolutely. I mean, there's, I tried smokeless tobacco one time when I was about 18 years old and got sicker than a dog. I never went close to it again. But you see some of these kids, they're young, they're 15, 16, 17, even 20, 21s, with a snuff or cut. My grandfather used to chew that long cut stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was disgusting.
The Navy cut.
Yeah. Oh, it was absolutely disgusting.
Hey, you see the kids, too, walking around. It looks like they got a tennis ball
exactly.
in their cheek. Yeah.
It is dangerous.
It is. There's no question about it. You know, and you want to say, well, look, want to work with you about dangerous habits and stuff like that. Boy, if that isn't a dangerous habit, I don't know what to do.
I'm not much for banning anything, but
You're right.
I don't think it should be used openly like it does in baseball. The TV tries to not show them with a big wad in their mouth and maybe spitting on the ground, but they still catch them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't see a shot of the Red Sox pitching coach, Juan Nieves, without him spitting.
Yeah.
I mean, he spits like every 6 seconds. I mean, that's a real plus for the Red Sox. The Safe Skies. 62-year-old lady tried 3 times to breach security in San Jose.
Yeah,
and the 3rd time she got on the flight to Los Angeles.
I have a question on that.
Yeah, she walked in with a family.
Tried to get by with a family.
Nobody asked for a boarding pass. She gets in there, she sits down. Well, they arrested her in Los Angeles. And come to find out, that's her little hang-up, her hobby. She tries to do that, get on planes.
The first time, maybe. Try it the second time, get caught. Why isn't she in custody?
Exactly.
Why is she available to do it the 3rd time? That's craziness.
You know what? I couldn't agree with you more. It just doesn't make sense that we allow her to repeat this behavior. And this is serious stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, how the devil, how safe do you folks feel knowing that this lady just walked on an airplane? I mean, my traveling days are over. I spent, the better part of my working career, a lot of my working career, on planes. And this would really drive me nuts. Absolutely nuts.
I don't look forward to flying anymore. I just dread it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's everything. It's not from A to Z with the planes today. The lack of seats, the lack of space, the hassles. It's just not enjoyable anymore.
When I was the last probably 15 or 18 years I worked, I was on the road all the time. So as a result, I was in the premier class at U.S. Airways, and I used to fly first class every single trip. And I used to make my own travel arrangements. If first class was full, I'd say, okay, we'll go another way. Route me through Charlotte or route me through Pittsburgh. I flew first class every single time. But back in the cattle car, it's brutal back there.
That's where I was.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. Well, okay. We sent, let's see if I can find it here. Well, in the follow-up department, we talked last time about Philip Chisholm, the 14-year-old who murdered his school teacher, raped her, and threw her in a dumpster.
Yep, up in
I think it was
north of
Danvers High School.
Yeah.
Well, he was 14 at the time. He has been charged with murder, aggravated rape, and other charges, and he's being held without bail. Massachusetts law says that if you're 14 to 17 years old and you are facing murder charges, you're going to be tried as an adult. And his defense attorney is screaming bloody blue murder.
Oh, I'm
that
sure.
He belongs in the juvenile court. But recently, he now attacked and tried to strangle a female counselor while being held at the Department of Youth Services in Dorchester.
Right.
So he's facing separate charges for that. Well, gee whiz, obviously DYS is not where he belongs. He belongs in prison. I just don't understand that. But I guess because they're changing the way the under 18 set is facing parole, that they think that they should change the way he's being charged. And I'm not sure I agree with that.
Well, you got to look at the extenuating circumstances in cases like this, especially with kids. And I don't like using the word kids because some of these might be 14 or 15, but they're young adults. And in other cases, an 18-year-old is still a kid. But they say their thought process is not matured. But there's a time when kids know right from wrong. It's not a matter unless there's a mental problem in there. But as far as punishment goes, sometimes you have to look for what's best for society rather than what's best for the individual here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You got to protect society. I don't care how old the kid is.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Yeah, absolutely. I'll skip down. We have a new award called the Instant Action Award, and I have given it out. It's going to be given to a group or an individual that when they see an emergency, see an outrage, courageously act with lightning-like speed. And this award goes to the Massachusetts legislature for taking the upskirt photo reign of terror head on and passing legislature in 2 days and bringing it to the governor's desk. It's as though lousy bridges, the patronage scandal, poor schools, the drug lab fiasco, substandard housing, homelessness, overcrowded prisons, the heroin epidemic, it's as though they simply didn't exist. But some dimwit with a camera phone who may or may not have been taking a picture or two, well, they're all over that like greased lightning. Our legislature has written a new chapter for John F. Kennedy's book, Profiles in Courage. They're my heroes.
Very good. It's the old thing, plucking the low-hanging fruit. It's easy.
Yeah, and you know what? There's one case, Dwayne.
Absolutely.
One case of a guy from Norwood with his stupid camera, and man alive, we have got to solve this mystery.
Yep, and
Holy
things got
cow.
done.
Ah, boy. Well, now we also have the Achievement Award. And I'm very proud of this one. It's very easy to criticize someone with a difficult job. Some would say an impossible job. So when he scores a crackerjack achievement, a real number 10, then it's incumbent upon us here at the Bill Crane Report to recognize this feat. So with this in mind, let's give credit where credit is due. Here is a picture of our former Senator and now Secretary of State, John Kerry, aboard his pink strawberry shortcake bicycle without the training wheels. According to my sources, who can lip read, he was saying, "Look, everybody, look, Lovey, no wheels. I'm big now." We on this show could not possibly be prouder of the Secretary of State, and we give him this achievement award. Is there anything you could care to add to that, sir?
I don't know. I could, but maybe I shouldn't. But I think that what he's doing now in the last 30 days, 60 days, is an impossible job. No matter what he does, he's not going to win. He's not going to achieve what he wants. I don't know how effective he is overall. There's been things in the past that disturb me about him. But his yacht, for example, parking it in Rhode Island instead of Massachusetts.
Well, he's up against it. He's going to save a couple of bucks.
Yeah, I know, but at that point you should not be getting involved in that kind of stuff.
When you don't know how many SUVs you have,
Yeah.
5 or 7, you really shouldn't be worried about the tax.
I really can't. I wouldn't want his job right now. I guess that's
No,
what I want.
it's mission impossible.
Yeah.
Israel doesn't trust him. They basically have told him, just stay out of this.
The other side trusts him.
Yeah, and the others, they just look at him with contempt.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're right. It's a difficult situation, and if he finds joy in riding his bicycle, man,
Go for it.
we need to recognize
Yeah.
it. The college education report is up next. We have a fellow by the name of Orlando Scandrick. He graduated from Los Alamitos High School in California and went to Boise State for 3 years. Played in 39 games there and left after his junior year to play for the Dallas Cowboys. His salary is $4.3 million a year. He's an all-star cornerback. He's been suspended without pay for 4 games for violating the NFL policy on performance-enhancing drugs. His excuse is he took a recreational drug while on vacation in Mexico and didn't know it contained a banned amphetamine. And he further says, "It was just a bad decision. I should never have done it. I didn't do it with the intent of knowing it would test positive. I know we get random tests, but I don't take anything to enhance my performance. I wasn't taking anything to enhance my performance." Aside from tangled syntax here, how can a guy with 3 years of college, making $4.3 million a year, go to Mexico and have someone say, "Here, take a recreational drug, it'll really chill you out," and just pop it in your mouth not knowing what it is?
Yeah, that term recreational drug kind of says it all.
Doesn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's not Advil.
No.
Oh.
And heaven knows what was in it. I mean, it's an illegal substance.
Yeah.
You know, but how can you put that in your system?
Well,
I'm at a loss.
there is a time in these athletes' life when sometimes it happens in high school, sometimes at college, sometimes, well, by the pros. The rules and norms of society does not involve them anymore. Would you say it was $4.9 million?
4.3.
$4.3 million.
Yeah.
That's 4.3 million reasons right there.
Yeah. He's going to lose 1.235, a million and a quarter.
So,
Yeah.
doesn't
That's it.
matter.
Yeah. Obviously it doesn't.
So find me. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. I can't believe, though, that someone would ingest that in their body. It might kill you.
Yeah, well,
But
no,
I guess not.
They're Supermen.
Yep. All right, well, let's lighten things up a bit here, shall we?
Okay.
August 2014. No bugs, no mosquitoes, no flies, no ticks, no woodchucks, and cool nights.
Very cool nights.
Aren't we in the throes of global warming? We had a very cold winter with a very deep freeze, a cool spring, and a delightfully cool summer.
Yeah,
What goes on?
I don't know. We're about a month to 5, maybe even 6 weeks beyond where we should be temperature-wise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Because my tomatoes have stopped blossoming.
right.
Those
Yeah.
50-degree, 55-degree nights, they just gave up.
Well, you know, Harvey the Wonder Cat has brought in 2 ticks this year.
Okay.
And I search him every time he comes in. And last year, we'd find ticks. We'd put that tick medication on him all the time. He brought in 2 in April. That was it.
Yeah.
Haven't seen a tick since.
I'm a tick magnet, and I've had 1 all year.
And the woodchucks, I've had as many as 5 living in my backyard with no woodchucks this year. And the cool nights have just been a delight. And the mosquitoes, I have got dragonflies.
Oh, so have I.
I got dragonflies.
Bumper crop attack
Yeah, and
dragonflies.
I love to watch them when they swarm. They make these 90-degree turns, and they're catching mosquitoes or some other poor insect that's hatching. They're slaughtering them, but that's great.
Yep.
Absolutely great. And the other thing too about animals, I look at the Norwood newspaper and the Walpole newspaper, and there's always calls in the police logs about skunks and turtles. And I cannot understand this. People calling up and saying,
I
I've
don't
got a skunk in my yard.
Yeah, I got skunks in my yard all the time.
Well, they burrow
Yep.
down and they eat those grubs.
Grubs. That's what they're
that
after.
kill your lawn. They're as playful as kittens. They will not do anything to you unless you frighten them.
Yep.
I think they're a delight to have, and they're great mouses also. And snapping turtles, you see, oh, there's a huge turtle in my yard, send 2 policemen, 1 for each end or whatever. The turtle comes up, leaves the water, and comes up to a sandy or like a garden or something like that, and lays her eggs, covers them, knowing that the sun will hatch the eggs. And right around Labor Day, and who knows what it'll be this year, but right around Labor Day, they hatch, and the turtles invariably go directly for water. Now, the little turtle just hatched, a day old, and he knows enough to go instinct, the good Lord or whatever takes them and sends them to water.
And most of these turtles are not really snapping turtles. Everybody calls them snapping turtles. They're not alligator snappers. Most
Oh,
of them,
no, they're
most
just-
of them we used to call them paint turtles.
Yeah.
They have
Well-
little stripes on them.
Well, the ones that I'm talking about are snappers, because I
Real
used to
snappers?
catch
Okay.
them. Oh yeah, 25, 30 pounds.
oh yeah, that was
They're
it.
big critters, but they don't bother anybody.
They ain't gonna chase
They
you.
come up to lay their eggs and they go back in the
Yeah.
water. You see them 1 or 2 weeks a year, but boy, I'll tell you, these folks call the police, mother of God, call out the militia. There's a turtle in my yard. Maybe when I grow up, I'll understand that.
Yep.
Now we have another very serious article here that we need to discuss. State officials are asking swimmers to be more careful after several drownings lately. David Procopio, a spokesman for the Massachusetts State Police, has said, this summer there's been a slight rise in drownings compared with last year, with 17 deaths since June. Now, Procopio did not have the exact figure for the year before. Who needs that? People shouldn't go in the water without knowing how to swim. It's a public safety concern. Well, you know, if that was 17 gun deaths, they'd be howling to ban guns.
Oh, without a
Why
doubt.
shouldn't we ban swimming?
Well, that's a good point, but it's something that'll never happen.
Well, why not? well, okay, but the interesting thing is people shouldn't go in the water without knowing how to swim. So that means you can't go knee high to cool
Yeah,
off.
that statement,
or thigh
that's-
high.
That's too blank.
Yeah. I still think banning it's the right thing to do. All right.
I know you do.
Now it's time for fun with numbers.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is going to be, oh, you know what? I'm going to skip that one and
All
do
right.
this one next. Double standards in
Oh.
accused rapes. The victim is shielded, but the accused is named and his photo is published.
While he's an accused, that's right.
So when charges are unfounded, or when DNA proves he was not the raper, or she admits she lied or was mistaken, or they go back to boyfriend-girlfriend relationship and they had this big breakup and so she blows the whistle on him, just trying to make trouble. So he's released and the charges are dismissed.
but you don't know
But
that.
he is a rapist for the rest of
Oh
his
yeah,
life.
absolutely.
He has been painted with the big R. That's not right.
No, it's not.
His name, if her name's not going to be released, his name should not be released
Until it's
until it's adjudicated.
yep, exactly right. Exactly right.
Okay. I'm glad we got that one straight.
agree with you on that one.
All right. Fun with numbers. The Wall Street Journal and NBC had quite a poll the other day. The state of the economy, 35% are satisfied, 64% are unsatisfied. What do you think of that?
It's fair.
Okay. America's role in the world, 35% are satisfied, 62% are unsatisfied.
I think that's very reasonable.
Your children's life will be better than yours has been. 21% yes, 76% say no.
That's probably a little bit. The no's are probably a little high. But people are scared.
Yeah.
People are really scared
There's
of
no
what's going
question about that. And they're very pessimistic.
on. It used to be that, you know, you went to high school, you went on to college, you got a job, you bought a house, etc.
The American dream.
Oh yeah, and today, that house is going to be a goal that's not going to be attainable by a lot of people.
That's right, yeah.
That where their parents did it, and they're going to say, "Well, how come I can't?"
Yeah, exactly. Now, unless the parents
Yep.
are ready to downsize and
Exactly.
they give the kids a giveaway
Yeah.
special. Yeah. The political system, 19% are satisfied, 79% are unsatisfied.
Oh, I agree there. It it might be skewed higher than that.
Now, this next one is exactly what you just spoke about. Work hard and you can succeed and be comfortable. 44% yes, 54% no.
I give the no's a higher rate than that.
Okay. The biggest problems are with the inability of elected officials in Washington to get things done to improve the economy. 71% of the people agree with that statement.
Yes.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that. That so far that poll is, I think, very fair.
And you know what? Here's the same question, but worded differently, and the results prove it. There are deep, long-standing problems, and it doesn't matter what elected officials in Washington do. 23% agree with that. So there's your 70-30 break, more or
Right,
less.
exactly the same thing.
Yeah, these polls, I think, are darn good.
Yeah, that one is.
Yeah. Now, here's some more. And this is a little different spin, but it's basically asking a lot of the same questions. Only 7% of Americans have a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in Congress.
What percentage?
7%.
Oh, very few people are confident in Congress. Extremely few.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yep. In only 18% have a great deal of confidence in TV news. Well, what's that tell you? 26% have a great deal of confidence in public schools. That's only 1 in 4.
Yep.
23% have a great deal of confidence in the criminal justice system.
Yeah, I don't. So far, I have no problem with some of those stats.
22% have a great deal of confidence in the newspapers. That's 1 in 5 that believes the newspapers. 4 out of 5 don't. The highest degree of confidence in this poll is 74%, and that's the U.S. military.
Okay. Yep.
Interesting poll.
Well, it is.
Now, I've got another one for you. Poverty. This is headlines of the Boston Globe. You can see
Yeah, I
BE.
can see.
So this was the lead item on the right-hand side. Poverty persists in New England suburbs. Boston Fed finds joblessness, wide use of food stamps. So am I nuts, or have I been listening to a whole bunch of folderol from different government officials that the economy has rebounded, things are great?
Things are not great.
Things are not great is 100% correct. That's a correct answer.
First of all, our unemployment rate is whatever the percentage they're showing on a given day. You probably should double it,
Well, yeah.
because once you run out of unemployment benefits and you're not collecting anymore, and you get off that roll,
They don't count you.
they
as
don't count you
unemployed
anymore. It's like you got a job,
You're a non-person.
or you're a non-person. That's
Yep,
right.
You've just gone off into the mist. Yep. Here's an interesting article that I cut out. Unemployment up in June from the Attleboro Sun.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Norfolk went from 4.2 to 4.7.
Yep.
Guess what was in yesterday's paper? July. Area's jobless rates jump. Norfolk went from 4.7 to 5.8. Attleboro jumped from 6.5 to 7.9. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's right.
And yet the federal rate goes down 0.1%.
Of course it
something
does.
like that. I mean, are these people cooking the books?
You can make statistics say whatever you want them to say.
Yeah. Here's another little statistic for you. The family U.S. median income in 2009 was $55,589. Today, it's $53,891, a drop of 4%.
Yep.
The family income has gone down 4%.
Yeah, that's
I mean, this is a pathetic performance by Washington.
yeah, because prices haven't gone down. We're still in an inflationary.
Yep.
We're not a spiral, but we're
Nope.
still in an
It still is up 1 or
inflationary.
2% a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's the stuff that we need. Of course, oil prices are very cyclical, so gas is up and down, heating oil is up and down, but food has pretty much gone on a ramping up.
Yeah, well,
And our incomes are ramping down.
food prices are are right now being inflated, probably because of the drought in parts of the country.
Well, yeah.
That has a big effect on it.
You're absolutely right, yeah. I mean, Texas is
Yeah.
really got a severe drought down there.
Yeah.
And the amount of cattle that they're raising down there has dropped right off.
Oh, when you start dumping your herds,
Yeah.
right away when they dump the herds, the price is going to go down
Oh, sure.
because it floods the
Because you
market.
flood the market, yeah.
Yeah, but then after that's
Long
gone through the
range,
system.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then for 2 or 3 years,
Oh yeah,
you're not
because you
having
don't
any
just
calves.
turn the switch and ramp up production.
Yeah, all of a sudden they breed like crazy.
Yeah,
and
oh,
the next
no.
day there's all kinds of them. It
Still
doesn't
take
quite
18,
work
24
like
months
that.
to get them through the system.
And get a market size.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you ready for the whopper of the week?
I can imagine which it is going to
Yeah. Well, these companies in Massachusetts that want to sell medical
Oh, boy.
marijuana
be. Yep.
are jostling for position. And here's one that the chairman of the board represented himself as being a college graduate.
Well, I have a special interest in that because the college that he represents,
Youngstown.
is my alma
Alma
mater.
mater.
So when I saw that, I said, "Oh my!"
Well, this is but his excuse is what takes the cake.
Oh, but there's a point to that too.
Yes.
A bigger point.
Yeah.
The media doesn't pick it up though.
He first of all, his mother died.
Yeah.
Tragedy, cancer, real tragic event. Then he
problem there.
became estranged from his father and also his siblings. And it so affected him during his final college semester that he couldn't focus on whether he actually graduated. And that was 16 years ago.
Okay.
But he still hasn't been able to sort it out.
all right.
But the interesting thing
I know
is
what the
that
interesting
he
thing
has been involved in another state.
I think it's Colorado.
Yeah, it is. And he did not put down that he graduated from Youngstown on his Colorado application.
But there's a thing even further than that.
Fill me with stories.
This board that looks at this
Yeah.
also looks at financial responsibility. His excuse is that they did not send back the transcript or whatever he asked for because he owed them $3,800 from 1998 or whatever, 30 years ago. Now here's a guy that's probably making in the six figures for the past few years, has owed a nonprofit $3,800, knows he owes it, and refuses to pay it. That's what should disqualify him.
Sure.
I don't care if he's got a degree or he's a
Right.
degree in psychology or not, other than it's
And it is
unethical.
psychology, too.
Other than it's unethical.
Yeah.
But the fact that you don't pay your bills,
Yeah.
that should really throw up the flag. But the media doesn't even mention that.
No. But now, the other thing the media doesn't mention is, I know you know the answer to this, but why are all these people trying to get a dispensary license to sell medical marijuana?
It's like a license to print money.
And do you think any of them are looking forward to 2016 when it'll be on the ballot in the Commonwealth?
Of course.
And they then
In place, ready to go.
will be in place, ready to go
Yep.
with a track record, and bingo.
Yep.
So again, and I sound like a broken record, folks. Follow the money.
Yep.
That's it. Dwayne, I've got a couple of polls that, very frankly, I don't know what the devil to make of them.
Okay.
Now, these are from the crack pollsters at the Boston Globe, so we know this is right on.
Oh, it's totally unbiased.
There you go. When it comes to most political issues, do you think of yourself as a conservative, a moderate, or a liberal? That is the question. If we take conservative, 27%, and combine it with moderate, that's 67% either conservative or moderate, or kind of a little melding of both, probably.
Where are they?
Liberal is only 33%.
I don't see it that way in this state.
No, I mean, this state is a dictatorship of the liberals.
Yep.
But yet, if, and the Globe could not possibly be wrong,
Of course not.
then holy cow, explain that to me.
I can't. It's
Nor
just-
can I.
It's a phenomenon.
It is so, I don't know. Are the liberals the only ones that are active out there? Do the moderates and the conservatives go home at night and pull the covers over their head and
Apparently.
just go into a deep sleep? And
I guess.
I just, unbelievable.
Look at their voting records. You know,
Yeah.
they always vote for the best man. They never vote for a party.
Well, there you
Not
go.
here.
There you go. I mean, it can't get any clearer than that.
Nope. Sal DeMasi won every election he ran in.
That's exactly right. That poor guy is suffering from cancer.
That is
and,
unfortunate. But
You know, it's. But again, listen. When you get into politics, and when you start cutting corners and doing things that are illegal, well, gee whiz, and you get caught, tough turkey.
yep.
Here's another little one I have for you. I think you'll like this one. Based on this information, would you vote to keep the current law in place or vote to repeal the law? And this is the Massachusetts Gaming Act.
Oh,
So we're going to vote on whether to continue along the path of building casinos or whatever it is they're trying to do, or do you want to repeal the whole damn thing and either forget about it or start over again? 49% want to leave the law as it sits. 41% want to repeal the law. And the other 10% are potheads or brain dead or something. They don't know.
yeah. Well, this is a question that I've got a lot of background in.
I
Mainly,
know that, and that's why I threw it in your direction.
I don't think we should repeal it because there's going to be consequences of that in other businesses. You cannot trust coming to the state and do business, make investments, and then somebody comes along and votes you right out of the water. But like a lot of our legislations, this was a poorly written law. There is not much to say for it. It was a law that was put together without any consulting of people that know what was going on or how this business should be run.
No, do you mean like Obamacare, where they
Yes.
locked them all in a room?
Same
Oh,
thing.
Dear me.
I'm never one for restricting businesses. Like to give 3 casinos and then make people compete for those 3 casinos, the 3 licenses, and then save one for the Wampanoags, which they're never going to be able to build a casino, that you've killed one. Number 2, you only let one go here and one go here. I always wondered, what does a state care how many casinos they build? They don't care how many restaurants go in. If I had $1 million restaurant and you want to put one right next to me for $2 million, the state says, hey, it's your money. If you want to build it and go out of business, who cares? That's your business.
Sure.
So, but no,
The market will decide.
exactly.
You can build in Boston, you can build all the restaurants you want, open them all.
Sure.
And the market will decide which
Who's
ones
gonna survive. That's
and which
right.
ones don't.
Yep. But I can't fathom a business, if we vote this out, a business to come in here with the idea that, well, we'll do business in Massachusetts, but then maybe somebody's going to get a whim and say, well, we're going to vote you out. We're going to make some kind of other restrictions. it's just bad. It leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
Yeah, it's as though, there's no backbone here among the people. You
No.
know, we just go wishy-washy, whichever way the wind blows.
And there are other places to build other than Everett and Revere.
Well, jeepers creepers. You know, I think we talked about this the last time. Well, what the heck is wrong with Milford? They had the land up
Well, the
there.
people didn't
You've
want
got
it.
the highways up there.
This state's a lot of NIMBYs.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
They don't want to admit it, but this state is a total state of
it
NIMBYs.
is a total state of NIMBYs.
Oh yeah.
Look at 40B housing. Well,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
that's another story for,
Yeah, that's
for another meeting. But, I agree with you. We did it. You know what? I wish we could rewrite the bill. That's
Yeah.
what, I wish you would go back to the legislature
And rewrite it, yeah.
get Solomon back in here and make some wise decisions and rewrite the stupid.
We've got areas that want a casino.
Yeah.
Taunton wants a casino. New
Springfield
Bedford.
is begging for it.
Well,
they've
yeah,
been
they
awarded
were.
it. Right.
New Bedford, Fall River.
Yeah.
I mean, please. Let
and,
us.
there are highways running
Yeah,
down there.
exactly. That's where they-
495,
that's where they should be.
195. Yeah. All right. I have another question for you based on a poll. Now, this one, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not a well man, but this one sent me right off the charts.
Okay.
When it
Maybe
comes,
you shouldn't read these.
When it comes to abortion, which of the following do you support? The right to an abortion with no restrictions. The right to an abortion with some restrictions, such as parental notification for minors and a cutoff on late-term abortions. Once again, the brain dead have registered with don't know. A total ban on abortions with the exceptions for victims of rape and incest. A ban on abortions in all circumstances. Now, I got to tell you, Dwayne, I'm very surprised at these numbers. Very surprised.
Okay.
The right to an abortion with some restrictions, such as parental notification for minors and a cutoff on late-term abortions, is in first place with 42%. A near total ban on abortion with exceptions for victims of rape and incest registers 19%. That's 61% of abortions with restrictions. 6% say no abortions at all.
Yeah.
And 28%, the right to an abortion with no restrictions. Now, I am totally shocked at that number, 28%.
28%.
Yep. The other people, again, the moderate conservatives, it seems to me, look at this and find sort of a middle path here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's usually the
But
case.
the folks on either end, I would have thought with the way that we see things happening in this state, like the buffer zone law that was recreated like almost immediately after the Supreme Court tossed it out, you would have thought the right to an abortion with no restrictions was 88% of the population rather than 28%. I just thought that those numbers, I was very surprised at them.
I guess I probably was, but probably not quite as shocked as you were.
I shock easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another one here that kind of shocked me. In Massachusetts, qualified minorities should be given special preference in hiring and education.
Boy, that qualified minority is a catch-all term that
It is.
worries me.
Yeah. I think it means people that can pass the SATs and that have the proper training and experience for a job. They may not be the first choice, but they're the second or the third. They're qualified. And, you know, in ultra-liberal Massachusetts, 69% of the people disagree with that. Only 24% agree that qualified minorities should be given special preference in hiring and education. And yet, don't we already do that?
Of course we do.
Yeah. I mean, you look at police departments and fire departments,
Yep.
they have to meet certain minimums.
Yep.
And even out here in the suburbs, okay, where there is no official minimum, you get a call.
It's still looked at.
You get a call and it said, gee, you guys really should try to hire a minority next time around. Kind of balance the playing field here a little bit. Can't tell you you must do it, but you really should. Now, I'll get something else to rant and rave about, and that is Governor Patrick's 1 gun per month purchase program. Nobody needs more than 1 gun a month, according to Governor Patrick. Yet, out in Western Mass, he has a $2.3 million mansion with 8 full bathrooms.
I know where you're going with that.
What does he need 8 for? I'm not telling him how many bathrooms he can have.
Maybe he only got 1 bathroom a month. It took him 8 months to put them in.
But then Steve Grossman,
Yep.
the candidate for governor, jumped on that and said, I support that, but Attorney General Coakley doesn't. Why doesn't she? I support it. And then he's running an ad with a lady, and she's very tearful, and it's a very tragic thing. Her son was killed by a gun. And she looks in the camera and says, 1 less gun will save a life. That's not true.
No.
And here is an example. A female resident, this comes from Autauga County, Alabama, Channel 12 News. A female resident was at home with her young niece late one night when a man she did not know came to the door. He claimed that his vehicle had broken down and that he needed help. The man then pulled a knife and tried to force his way inside. Fearing for her safety and the safety of her nurse, the homeowner drew her gun and fired several shots. Responding officers found the 18-year-old intruder's body nearby. He was pronounced dead a short time later. Neither the homeowner nor her niece were harmed during the incident. In that case, 1 less gun could have cost a life,
Absolutely.
not saved a life. Jeremy Rosetto, 39, was in the stairwell of an apartment building when he got into an argument with 2 men and a female. One of the men punched Rosetto. According to police, one of the 3 then held Rosetto down while another beat him with a baseball bat. Obviously, they don't have any idea of the Good Neighbor program. Fearing great bodily harm or death, Rosetto drew a gun he is licensed to carry and fired, killing 2 of his 3 attackers. And that was the Green Bay Press-Gazette in Wisconsin. So here's a case where legal gun owners defending themselves save their lives. So 1 less gun does not necessarily save a life. Because if those people's guns had been taken away from them, they might, in both cases, have been killed.
Well, that's just another case of the dwelling on the non-dwellable point. The fact that you get a gun a month or not get a gun a month, you're again ignoring the existing laws and who has the guns now. And what are you going to do about the thugs and the bad guys that got them?
99.
You're not doing a thing about it.
Over 99% Now, well, the last figure I heard was 99.5% of the licensed gun owners in this country
They're not the problem.
are not the people in trouble.
That's right.
It is the unlicensed people using guns and the people that have stolen the weapons
Yep.
or bought them on the streets.
Yep, exactly.
They are the ones that are doing the crime. So why do you want to hassle the legal gun owner?
I said it before. It's low-hanging fruit.
That's exactly
It's the easy people to go after.
And it's easy for politicians to say, I'm opposed to gun
That's right.
violence.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got the strictest laws in the country in Massachusetts. Okay? We don't need more. We need the laws that we have
Be
enforced.
enforced. Yep.
I mean, this is all, it's absolutely just simply doesn't make sense. They're
remember
going after the wrong people.
You remember when that law went through effect that if you get caught with using a gun, it's a year in jail and nobody can get you out?
The Bartley-Fox law.
Bartley-Fox law, and they had the sound effect of a cell door clanking shut. I don't think anybody ever went to jail on it.
Well,
maybe one or two did, but that was it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And there was a judge in Boston that used to appear on the talk shows, but he wasn't a guest. He used to call in. And he used to rail about the cops grabbing these kids. And they'd bring the kids in, and they'd produce a weapon, and then we caught them with this, Your Honor. And they said, and he said, if you think I'm putting these lads away and ruining their lives with a year in prison, you're crazy. So he would not enforce the Bartley-Fox Act.
I think that judge was a trout fisherman because a lot of trout streams have a catch and release program. And he must catch and release. The police catch him and he releases them.
That's exactly right. And this is madness. And you know, we are so obsessed with some of the people that we're holding in prison. They have been tried, they've been convicted, and they've been sentenced to prison, okay? Granted, the prisons are overcrowded.
Yeah, they are. But
Build some more
if you need
prisons.
be.
I mean, we've got state buildings they're tearing down because nobody can figure out what to do with them. Convert them over to minimum security prisons, put double chain link fences around them, and that's it.
look in a paper, somebody, particularly if they kill somebody.
Yeah.
Then they'll say, well, he was not unknown to the police. And they'll say, he's got a record. And they start listing the things.
Yeah.
98, 2004, 2007, 2009, 2011, 2000. What is he doing on the street?
How about this guy that had 13 pages?
Yeah. Why is he leaving? Why is he
was
walking
out-
around?
He was out on $50 bail for something. Incredible.
It's incredible.
We've got the laws. We've got to enforce them. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to a very sad part in the evening. It's the part where the show ends. I know it makes you sad, but don't fret. A couple weeks from now, a mere fortnight, or maybe 3 weeks, we'll be back. And we'll be armed with more of this stuff, the truth. And we'll have a good time. We'll chat with you. And in the meantime, I want you all to be good little boys and girls. Good night.
Good night.
And hopefully, our other missing person arrives.
Yep, we'll be
With
back.
that, a double good night.